Joining me from Northern California is Miro Korenha. She's the co-founder of Our Daily Planet, which is an environmental news platform. Miro, you're in the beautiful, normally beautiful, stunning wine country in Sonoma. Tell us what the situation is like there.
Thank you for having me on. Yes, I grew up here in Sonoma, California. I came out this summer to spend some time with my family. And as your correspondent mentioned previously, wildfire season generally picks up in the fall. But this year, it really started early. And so far, we've hit a record number of acres, 2 million acres, as you've mentioned before, have burned. And that's meant that for about almost a month now, the air quality has been very poor. So you have to understand the situation on the ground here. We have the COVID virus that's still very much an issue. People are being asked to socially distance. People are staying home. And when record heat like this happens, people, in many parts of California, they might not have air conditioning because we're used to more moderate temperatures. And so they are trying to go outdoors and they can't because there's wildfire smoke. They're trying to go to the mountains, perhaps where it's a little clearer, and they're being hit with these sporadic wildfires. And the difference with the heat waves that we're seeing right now, they're so intense because they're not cooling off at night. So generally we have a bit of a marine layer if we're close to the water here, and we're just not seeing that. So it's just hot during the day, it's hot at night. People don't have reprieve and everything is bone dry. So when lightning strikes or perhaps when a power line flares or there's a human-induced ignition, like we saw, there was a gender reveal party.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What is the story behind that one? How does a gender reveal party spark a destructive wildfire?
Well, firstly, maybe this is an indication that we should stop having these type of parties. But from my understanding, there was a pyrotechnic device that released colored smoke, which ignited the brush. And I think this is really important here because in California, we have seen warming 3 degrees Fahrenheit over the past couple decades, which is far exceeds the global average. And as a result, our vegetation is so dry. So any fire that erupts, it has the potential to spread very, very quickly. And at the same time, in California, during September and October, we have offshore winds that naturally come in. So you can imagine when we have winds coupled with very dry vegetation, it's a recipe for disaster, which is what happened with this gender reveal party.
Yeah, and we are in the middle of a pandemic, so people should really not be having parties to begin with. Talk about climate change. You briefly mentioned that. What do you tell people that say, what climate change?
Well, in California, I really don't know any person who denies climate change. And I think we're starting to see that through the rest of the United States, because for us, I'm 33 years old, and I can tell you as a child growing up in this very place, there was nothing like this. You know, perhaps I can count on my hands a number of times where there was a fire so bad that the smoke was choking like this outside. And you know, we've really seen our fire season here in California extend by 75 days over past decades, which is immense. And really, it's a kind of an undercurrent of anxiety that people fear here. So every time it gets very hot, every time we're entering September, October, and it's windy and hot, people fear that a fire is going to spark and their neighborhood is going to be evacuated, their homes are going to be burned. We're seeing insurance companies not insuring homes in California anymore because it's too risky. And, you know, their assessments are based off of data and math and science. So it's not just, you know, someone's opinion. Data is showing us that this is real. It's hot. The climate here is changing, and these threats will continue to occur unless we take drastic action. And that's happening in California, but we need that to happen on the federal level as well.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. You stay safe, Miro. Thank you so much for joining us.